everyone, I'm Kate Andrews, and here's a look at what is going on this week in the news. And we begin from around the world. China is doing away with its one-child policy. The 1979 law was intended to curb population growth, but now the country has over 200 million senior citizens, and their labor force has shrunk by 3.5 million. The October 29th announcement said couples would now be allowed to have 2 children. In 2012, a Chinese government think tank had proposed a 2-child policy to begin in 2015. Some Chinese church officials said that the original policy had also resulted in a decline in vocations. The population of mainland China is now more than 1.34 billion people. In news from the Vatican, during his morning mass at the Doma Sancta Martha, Pope Francis talked about God's unconditional love for everyone, including those that push themselves away from their faith. Rome Reports has more.
In his Thursday morning Mass, Pope Francis highlighted the strength of God's love. Although people might reject his love, he explained, God never gets tired of loving.
Il più cattivo, il più bestemmiatore è amato da Dio con una tenerezza di padre, di papà. E come dice Paolo, come dice il Vangelo con Gesù, come una chioccia con i pulcini. E Dio, il potente, il creatore, può fare tutto. Dio piange. In questo pianto di Gesù su Gerusalemme, in quelle lacrime, è tutto l'amore di Dio.
He concluded by saying that God weeps for every person, even those who distance themselves, and he loves them, he added, unconditionally.
In news from around the country, Republican Paul Ryan has been elected Speaker of the House of Representatives. He was elected October 29th. In his acceptance speech, Ryan said that instead of solving problems, politicians have been adding to them. He said he wanted to get the House working again. Not only is the Wisconsin native Catholic, he counts Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York, who is a former Archbishop of Milwaukee, and Bishop Robert Morlino of Madison, Wisconsin, as close advisors. Throughout his 9 terms in office, he has consistently voted pro-life and supported religious liberty. Back to news from the Vatican. Pope Francis remembered a landmark anniversary during his general audience. Rome Reports has more.
Despite the morning rain, the Pope's weekly general audience was held outdoors. As usual, the Pope started things off by making a few rounds along St. Peter's Square, blessing crowds along the way. In his catechesis, the Pope talked about interreligious dialogue, this to mark the 50th anniversary of the Nostra Aetate Declaration. The Second Vatican document lays out the relationship between the Catholic Church and non-Christian religions. As a symbol, people of various faiths attended the audience.
Ci chiede risposte effettive su numerosi temi: la pace, la fame, la miseria che affligge milioni di persone, la crisi ambientale, la violenza, in particolare quella commessa in nome della religione.
It's easy to stereotype those of other faiths, said the Pope, but one must look beyond that, embrace diversity, and focus on the positive. He added that this factor is appealing even to those who don't profess a religion.
E in questo campo, dove conta soprattutto la compassione, possono unirsi a noi tante persone che non si sentono credenti o che sono alla ricerca di Dio e della verità, persone che mettono al centro il volto dell'altro, in particolare il volto del fratello o della sorella bisognosi.
Towards the end of his general audience, the Pope called on everyone to pray in silence, honoring their own religion.
Invito tutti, ognuno, a pregare in silenzio, Ognuno lo faccia secondo la propria tradizione religiosa. Chiediamo al Signore che ci faccia più fratelli fra noi e più servitori dei nostri fratelli più bisognosi.
And finally in the news, an apostolic exhortation on the family following the Synod of Bishops could be released soon. The document was requested by the Synod Fathers in their final report. Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin said that Pope Francis has made the decision to publish the final report of the Synod that was addressed to him. The release date, however, is to be determined. Well, that's going to do it for news. I'm Kate Andrews. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.